What if I told you that a few decades in the 15th and 16th centuries changed the course of art forever? Imagine a time when creativity, intellect, and genius converged to create some of the most celebrated works in human history. This was the High Renaissance, a period that didn't just break the mold, it redefined it. It's when the likes of Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael reached heights of artistic brilliance that still leave us awestruck today. But what makes this period so impactful, and how did its legacy continue to shape the world of art that followed? Let's explore how the High Renaissance influenced future art movements, left behind timeless icons, and still finds its way into modern culture. The High Renaissance, spanning roughly 1490 to 1527, was a period when artists pursued perfection, harmony, and balance like never before. It was a time of unparalleled innovation, where the boundaries of what art could achieve were pushed to their very limits. The human figure was studied with scientific precision, architecture strived for divine proportions, and painting reached new depths of realism and emotion. But while the High Renaissance was the peak, every summit casts a long shadow. In this case, that shadow birthed new art movements that took Renaissance ideals in fascinating new directions, expanding the scope and expression of art beyond traditional boundaries. One of the first movements to follow was Mannerism. Born in the wake of the High Renaissance, Mannerist artists like Jacopo Pontormo and Parmigianino rejected the perfect balance and harmony of their predecessors. Instead, they embraced distortion, elongated figures, and exaggerated poses. If Leonardo's Vitruvian Man embodied human perfection, Mannerism relished in the imperfect, the strange, and the dramatic. In a way, it was a reaction against the seemingly unattainable heights of Michelangelo and Raphael. Where the High Renaissance sought clarity, Mannerism explored ambiguity and complexity. But art didn't stop evolving there. The grandeur of the High Renaissance paved the way for the Baroque period. Think of Baroque as the High Renaissance turned up to 11. Baroque artists like Caravaggio and Bernini took the naturalism and drama of the Renaissance and infused it with intense emotion, dynamic movement, and theatrical lighting. The serenity of Raphael's School of Athens transformed into the swirling energy of Bernini's ecstasy of Saint Teresa. The High Renaissance may have sought perfection, but Baroque sought to make you feel deeply, passionately, and viscerally. So how did the masters of the High Renaissance achieve such influence? Let's look at the three titans of the era: Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Raphael. Leonardo da Vinci, the quintessential Renaissance man, left behind more than just The Last Supper and the Mona Lisa. His notebooks, filled with sketches of anatomy, inventions, and scientific observations, inspired generations of thinkers and creators. Leonardo taught us that art and science are not separate pursuits, but two sides of the same coin. He planted seeds that would grow into fields like anatomy, engineering, and even robotics. Then there's Michelangelo Buonarroti, the sculptor, painter, and architect whose work feels almost superhuman. His David isn't just a statue, it's a symbol of human potential and the triumph of spirit over adversity. The Sistine Chapel ceiling isn't just a fresco, it's a visual epic that captures the very essence of creation. Michelangelo's legacy lies in his belief that art should strive for the divine, a belief that would echo through the halls of art academies for centuries. And who could forget Raphael, the master of grace and harmony? Raphael's School of Athens is more than just a painting, it's a blueprint for intellectual inquiry and humanist ideals. His ability to compose serene, balanced, and beautiful images influenced everyone from the neoclassicists to modern graphic designers. If Leonardo was the mind and Michelangelo the spirit, Raphael was the heart of the High Renaissance. But the legacy of the High Renaissance isn't confined to history books or museum walls. Its echoes can be found in modern art and culture. The obsession with realism in video games and CGI. That's Leonardo's legacy of precision and detail. The superhero films that dominate our screens often feature characters who resemble Michelangelo's idealized human forms, powerful, dynamic, and expressive. Even modern design principles of balance, proportion, and harmony owe a debt to Raphael's mastery of composition. And let's not forget the way these artists continue to inspire us today. Leonardo's Mona Lisa has been parodied, reimagined, and memified more than any other artwork. Michelangelo's David stands tall not just in Florence but in pop culture, representing defiance, bravery, and beauty. The influence of the High Renaissance is so deeply embedded in our culture that we often take it for granted. The High Renaissance wasn't just a golden age, it was a beacon that illuminated paths for future generations. It showed us what human creativity could achieve when intellect, passion, and skill worked in harmony. The movements that followed, like Mannerism and Baroque, wrestled with its perfection while pushing art in bold new directions. The legacy of Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Raphael lives on not just in galleries, but in our movies, technology, and everyday lives. The High Renaissance may have peaked 500 years ago, but its spirit endures, urging us to keep reaching for new heights of beauty, truth, and expression. So next time you marvel at a stunning piece of art or design, remember, you're standing on the shoulders of giants.